for those who were already here. A note on names. I have tried to identify First Nations by the names they use for themselves today, sometimes coupling them with the settler terms, many of which are still in common usage. For the Metis, I have used the name by which they referred to themselves at the time, Bois Brûlés, or just Brûlés. The term and spelling Metis came into common use in the years following the period covered by this book, and denotes a qualitative change in the way these unique people came to see themselves. As for individuals' names, it's a free-for-all, and anybody's guess which spelling is correct. You're on your own, except where I've made it clear why I am using a specific spelling. Finally, Scots names: MacDonalds, McDonald's, MacDonalds, McLeans, McLeods, Macbeaths, Macbeths, Mackays, and McCrays, not to mention the Alexanders, Archibalds, Anguses, Jameses, Jonathans, and Williams. The names can be dizzying in their similarity and repetition. It behooves the reader to pay close attention. Blame the Scots. I certainly do. This book was researched and written in the place where most of its events took place, in Winnipeg, near the forks of the Red and Assiniboine rivers, on the original lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Metis Nation. I hope it will play a small part in infusing real people and real life into this too often mechanical acknowledgement. This truly was, and remains, their native land. Robert Lauer, August 2022. Introduction. City on the Red. I was born, and have spent most of my life, in Winnipeg, as did my father before me. My city sits right at the center of southern Canada, astride the confluence of the Red and Assiniboine rivers, called locally the Forks, a continental crossroads and meeting place for peoples in every age since it emerged from the glacial meltwater some 8,000 years ago. Winnipeg is famous for its cold winters, its vibrant arts and music scene, its elm trees, Winnie the Pooh, the invention of the remote car starter, give that man a knighthood, and its history. The Winnipeg General Strike of 1919 shook the world, convincing every bloated capitalist and cozy politician in the British Empire and America that the Bolshevik Revolution had arrived on their doorstep. They used the army to crush it. The Métis Resistance, Red River Rebellion, of 1870 was the first concerted backlash from indigenous peoples against the wholesale Western expansion and land grab by settler Canada. Upon its suppression, also by an army, Winnipeg became the distribution and rail hub for that expansion and grew at such a rate that boosters thought it might rival Chicago. Virtually every immigrant, of the hundreds of thousands who answered the call to transform indigenous buffalo range into a vast wheat-producing machine, came through Winnipeg. Many went no further, including my family. History continues. As Canadians move forward with the difficult but necessary business of reconciliation between the settler population and the indigenous cultures we, displaced and damaged almost to destruction, Winnipeg's large concentration of First Nations families, along with its status as the homeland of the Métis Nation, put it right at the heart of that process. If reconciliation is to succeed at all, it must succeed here. The Promised Land. Before any of these, before there was a Winnipeg or a land rush or an entity called the Métis Nation, there was the Red River Settlement, a puny patch of ground occupied by a hopeful band of Scots refugees, never more than 150 at one time, looking only for a place to sow crops and sink roots. One of them was my great-great-grandfather, and that's what brought me